Today was a really good day. We're excited. Anytime that October 14th date rolls around and the leaves are changing and the weather's getting a little cooler in Tuscaloosa, we know that official practice is here. So really proud of our team. March the 12th, when we left campus because of COVID, our players went home and could not be any prouder of everyone around this program right now, from our medical staff to our academic staff to our coaching staff to our nutrition staff, on how everyone has managed what we've been through. This group of kids has just been unbelievable. Came back with our returnees June the 1st for summer one, for our initial phase to return, and then summer two, our new faces joined us. We've been really fortunate. When we talk about today being day one, today is really day 23 for us. We've had 23 practices now. So today was just kind of putting that official stamp on the season is right around the corner. So really proud of everyone in our program, especially our team. I love this group. We're excited about our leadership, which starts with Jordan Lewis at the point guard and Jasmine Walker at the forward spot. Experience, toughness, grit, gratitude, they're all about it. And returning 4 starters, a lot of experience, and with those two leading the way, we're really comfortable about the direction our team is headed in this season.
All right, we'll open it up for questions.
Coach, I'm curious about the scheduling for this upcoming season, especially with non-conference. Is it looking like there will be some on-campus games or some neutral site bubble types? Just what are those discussions like right now?
Right now, those discussions change on a daily basis somewhat, Roger. We're still waiting on verification from the SEC. Right now, we're at 16 conference games, but we're still waiting to hear and receive that schedule. In saying that, we're working right now on a multi-team event. We're working to try to get some of those opponents that we lost before the 25th back into our schedule. So the dynamics around scheduling right now with testing protocols, with who will play, actually where we'll play, and how that's going to go. Right now, if you looked at our schedule, we would only have 4 home games before conference play. So I feel like it's really important, if things fall into place, to really test our team with an MTE, and then we'll go on the road for the other contests. So we're trying to find a happy medium that just helps prepare us for SEC play right now with the preseason. So we're anxious to get the conference season so we can finalize the preseason. Hey, Andrea.
Let us join you today. The practice is going well. I have a few, you talked about the leadership with Jordan Lewis. Do you think this has the potential to be a season where there's less pressure on her, or do you think she has to turn it up, as far as pressure and leadership goes this year?
Well, I don't think there's any question Jordan's always going to put more pressure on herself and her expectations than any of us possibly can. When you look at her daily schedule, she's in her 2nd year of her MBA. And the intensity with that, she carries over to practice every single day. So to see her growth and maturity in all areas has been unbelievable. And I know this. I know that nobody will turn it up any harder than she will. So she understands that next gear. If we're asking her to go 80, she's going to go 90. So it doesn't really matter what our expectations are. No one has any higher expectations than she does of herself. So, she's unbelievably experienced. Our goal is to keep her healthy. Obviously, we're much better when she's on the floor. She makes everybody around her better, and they make her better. There's no question that our team brings back a lot of experience, and a lot of our players have spent a lot of time here. If one blessing has come from quarantine, a lot of our younger players have really gotten to get into the gym and develop. And then our 8 hours of virtual teaching that we had, we spent a lot of time virtually, individually, as position groups, and with our entire team. So I know that she has a lot of confidence in what we bring back around her, that yes, she should feel less pressure because she's got the most talented group around her that she's had since we've been here. So it's kind of twofold there.
Got it. And who do you think, I know it's still really early, but who's shown they can kind of back her up at that point guard position?
Hannah Barber is in the best condition of her life. She's lost weight, and not that she necessarily needed to. I'm just trying to make the point that she's at a different level. Her change of speed, her change of pace, she's going to be one of those players when you look at Alabama that you're going to see the off-season work this young lady's put in. So I feel great too. I can say the same thing about Ari Grizzle and the energy and effort that she's brought to her off-season and conditioning. Hannah and Ari at a different place. And there's no question that they've put Jordan in a position every day to feel like that she can come out of the game and that we can find some minutes. We've got Taylor Sutton, a transfer from Middle Tennessee that's sitting out this year, who was Conference USA Freshman of the Year. So I love our 4-point cards, and I love how competitive practice is every day. But I feel like that Hannah Barber will be able to come in and spell Jordan. I feel like Ari Grizzle could come in and spell Jordan. So I love where those two, their growth and improvement is night and day from where it was me sitting here a year ago.
And speak a little bit too as well, just Megan Abrams, obviously she had a strong season. Brittany Davis was dominant in junior college. Obviously SEC is a whole different ball game, but she's got a year under her belt. For those two, what have you seen from them?
Well, Megan Abrams is another one of those kids that has spent countless hours in the gym. And, I think one of the biggest things I've seen with her is her improvement from three. She's shooting 45% right now from three in practice. That hadn't happened before, and those shots aren't not contested. So she's doing it's just the off-season work. There was no one that every single time she was allowed in the gym in June and July, and there were restrictions because of COVID. I mean, she was in the gym. She was begging to get in the gym. She was home over quarantine getting in the gym. So Meg's done a great job of working on her shot. She's always had that drive. She's always had the ability to get to the rim, but she's become more of a threat for us off the 1-2 dribble pull-up and then from three off the pass. Brittany Davis is out right now. We expect her back at some point, so we're wanting her to get healthy. I think the next young lady that you have to mention in that breath, when you say we returned 4 starters, Desha Benjamin played an awful lot a year ago, and she brings an awful lot of an arsenal for us offensively. Our transfer, Kiara, also does just a tremendous job of bringing you that dynamic score, get to the rim. She's shooting the ball really well from three. So, I really like the different combinations that we can bring. When you're mentioning, Meg in the 2-3 spot, we're excited about that group.
And you talked a lot about offense, but I know from playing against you, the defense that you play and the way that you scheme and the way that you can kind of put offenses in a position where they don't really know what to do with their offense. How have you all kind of developed, or have you got a better understanding of what you're trying to do defensively this year? Have you seen that yet, or do you think that's going to happen?
I think right now, we spent a lot of time during quarantine to try to let our kids know that we love them and we're invested and we care and just checking on them. And so the 8 hours of virtual teaching, we spent a lot of time, trying to work on that as coaches to get prepared for this time now. So a lot of film sessions with our team and within my house. I mean, we were utilizing, every opportunity we had to get better on some things that normally we're on the road recruiting or normally our players in workouts and class, So we took advantage of that time to get better. And, I think you're going to see a team this year, we're asking 3 things of them defensively: to play as hard as you can. And secondly, always be doing something. And thirdly, we've got to improve our rebounding. So the rebounding piece of that, those 3 things defensively. But we're going to change our defenses. I like what we're doing and what we're trying to do. And to play the clock defensively. But we want to come out and be aggressive on both sides of the ball. We want to play fast. We want to be effective as far as scouting reports and tendencies and who we're playing. And our kids have done a really good job of maturing to that point where we feel like we can, not just be, you might not always know what you're getting, but we know what we're getting because we're prepared. We want to be the most prepared team in the SEC.
And then last one from me, last year you had a multitude of games that were close losses. I mean, where it was maybe one possession or a play at the end or a couple plays at the end. What do you think from this team does this team have where those losses could be wins this season?
Well, there's no question. We had 8 SEC wins. 8 ACC wins since 2013's gotten you in the NCAA tournament. So that void that we walked out of that gym March the 12th with that emptiness and knowing that we lost on a half-second contested shot at Tennessee and lost in double overtime at Georgia on the road. I mean, we know we're right there, and we know that there's not a game that you look down the schedule right now that anybody checks off Alabama. I mean, we feel like night in and night out we compete and can beat anybody in this league, and that we're doing that. So the void that we felt knowing our season was over is a hunger, it's an emptiness, it's driving us, it's fueling our fire, and our kids want to put ourselves in a position where we leave no doubt. And I think that's one of the biggest things about this team. They don't want to leave a doubt, and we want to control what we can, and we know without a doubt, the Tennessee win, Georgia win, coupled with what we had done would have gotten us in without a doubt.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Andrea.
Christy, you brought up Jordan and Jasmine, specifically to their offensive or even all-around game. What have they done to improve or enhance their overall game to help this team?
Oh, they've done an awful lot. I mean, from day one in the off season, the seriousness and not that they weren't before, but the intensity that they've taken Christy into our nutrition area. From all of the training and personal time that Frank, our nutritionist, is putting in with them, both of them are in phenomenal condition. You see their bodies, you can tell they're transformed. And not that they needed to be, but the level they've taken their nutrition and the choices they're making, and then into the strength and conditioning area. Terry Jones, our strength and conditioning coach, is full-time women's basketball now. What that gave us in the off season was a different dimension to individually train at the highest level. So those two have really embraced the workout that TJ sent home during quarantine when they both got back the first week of June. There wasn't a time where I called both of them nearly every few days that they weren't outside. And I'm like, what are you doing? They're running, they're working, they're outside, they're in the garage. They're just relentless. And both of them have put themselves in a position to play so much longer, even harder. And it's really affected their offensive game. Like, honest to goodness, what they're doing as far as their ability and versatility to score the ball. When they got back, we were able to spend more time, working individually with them and in small groups. And now, obviously, that became, our team workouts. Like I said, we've had 23 this fall, but summer too, we spent a lot of time in the gym training. I know that we were sending different workouts, individual workouts, and both of these kids have really embraced it. I mean, I've got two pros beside me, and they're going to play at the next level, and I'm really excited for both of them. But again, we've got unfinished business, and I know that's how they want to finish. And who knows, they may get a year back, so we'll see.
So you said returning 4 starters. There's a lot of experience. I think some coaches feel like they need to tweak or they have the ability to tweak because you have experience, but you had success down the stretch. So do you add to what you've already put in? You're basically 50-50 between the matchup and the man. How much more complex will your system be this year on both sides of the ball?
I don't know that it'll be any more complex. We're going to change our zone somewhat because there were some things that we wanted to change. We're going to change our pressure a little bit, and we're going to do some things differently with that. But, it's not going to be major changes. So we're going to do some things that we really feel like would put us in more of a position to be successful. And I mentioned to Andrea earlier, that's what, if quarantine had any blessings, we as coaches were able to slow down and spend more time maybe than we ever have before on just how can we really, really be better. That's the joy of coaching, is taking what you have and looking at those personnel and not being stubborn to change some things and to adjust some things. So we really enjoyed that in our sessions. From Kelly and I, obviously, to our entire staff, and spending more time together, what we could control. And I'm excited, I think this team will give you some different combinations. We can play big ball and we play small ball, so we're excited about that.
Hey, Christy, if you can just speak as a head coach, there's no guidebook for what you have had to go through over the last 8 months. Can you just talk about how it's helped you be a better head coach?
Well, I think it's helped me to look around, not only with my team and professionally, but personally, that, we certainly don't need to take some things for granted, that life is short and it is precious, and sometimes there are more important things than basketball, and that we can all grow and be better, not only with what we're going through with COVID, but how can we just be a better person every day to those around us and love one another regardless of gender, regardless of color, just so many things that we can all try and really be better to let people know that, we need to love more. And so what I've tried to do is this staff and this team is make sure they know they've got a head coach that nobody in the world could love them more. And we're going to work through this, and we're going to take it one day at a time, and we're going to stay positive because there's so much negative for these kids right now. And I think it's really important the way we've handled things. During our quarantine time, we read John Gordon's book on the hard hat, 21 Ways to be a Great Teammate and to Inspire others, and spent time on that with our virtual teaching as far as our film and our X's and O's, and, tried to invest in them. Then we come back and, right now we're doing the challenge series by Kevin Eastman, why the best are the best. So I think right now we're having open conversations in so many areas. It's not always about the X's and O's. It's about how these kids feel. And what's really important is that they know they've got people around them that love them and care about them and are going to help them through the best that we can right now. Just taking it one day at a time. We've not been affected. Our kids have made great choices. We've had a great plan in place from our administration. So we are just taking it one day at a time, staying positive and staying patient and trying to show a lot of grace.
Thanks, Coach.
Andrea. Hey, Coach. Sorry, my wheels were just turning. As you mentioned, playing big, and Orion Copeland, she had 3 pretty big games in SEC play, had a couple double-doubles if you think about, A&M, Auburn, Kentucky. Is that double-double kind of feeling? Can that be an expectation of her this season?
No question. I think the biggest expectation right now for Araya is conditioning. And we continue to work on that in the preseason. Her conditioning level is going to dictate her success. It's going to dictate a lot for our team. And I think it's ultimately important and really, really important. Ruth Kong, our 6'5" transfer, tore her ACL on September 22nd. I'm telling you right now, she's special, and she would have given us that second dimension. So Araya's job becomes even more important right now. And I have no doubt as a senior, she's going to try to get that job done, And so we will be fine, and Ruth will be fine. But at the end of the day, the expectation on Araya has gone to a different level. And it was always at that level. But now, she knows, hey, I know that I don't have any margin right now to expect Ruth to be able to help me because of the situation we're in. And, losing Ruth was big because she's going to be a pro. She's a really good player. So it's, the bottom line is Araya's got to step up and do what seniors do in this league. And that's not just lead. It's with numbers and what she needs to do on the floor.
Dang it, I was trying to get there today without doing that. You mentioned earlier that Brittany is out right now. Is that just she hasn't been released from last season's season injury? She's still coming back from that?
No, she's going through some personal reason. It's a personal reason right now. We're completely supporting her and know that she will be back at some point.
Okay.
But again, I mentioned, Destiny Rice. I'm telling you, Destiny Rice, Ari Grizzle, Hannah Barber, Desha Benjamin, unbelievable how much better and how much they've improved. And, Kiara and Myra, our 2 new faces on the perimeter, really bring a lot. So we like our depth and we like our versatility and what those perimeters can feel until Britt gets back.
And Coach, you talked about Taylor Sutton, and obviously she can't play this season, but is she bringing something to the team every day, maybe like an edge or a great, I remember we had a transfer in, they couldn't play, but we had to play them every day in practice, and it just kind of levels up your play. Are you seeing that from her?
Definitely, and seeing her get better every day. There's a lot to learn when you go from one system to another, but I think the worst thing that we can do is for Taylor to be any different than everyone else because we want her to really grow and get better. So we're putting her in a position every day in practice to get reps and minutes like no different than anyone else. Our practice guys got here a week ago. We're only allowed 5, and we're really, really thankful for those 5. They are our big 5. And so before that point, to have the 13 bodies that we have, so Taylor, being in practice day in and day out and going against someone of her caliber. I mean, she's Conference USA Freshman of the Year. She was a phenomenal. She's quick. She's athletic. Has a lot to learn, though. Still has the room for growth is the biggest room in her house right now. So she continues to get better, but she does. I mean, she's quick. She's loves to get up and down the floor, her pace. So we're excited about her growth and the chance that she has to grow, but also push our team every day.
Roger. Hey, Coach, I really enjoyed getting to meet Janice earlier in the summer. Can you just tell us about the kind of energy she's brought to your coaching staff and what kind of coach she is?
Well, a whole bunch of energy. And, we were so fortunate, I had a chance to know her at Ben Davis High School in Indianapolis and recruited her before I left Purdue to go to Texas Tech. Janice is an all Big Ten academic selection. She's an all Big Ten performer. And what she brings every day when she's asking these kids on the pace, academically, athletically, off the floor, she's not asking anything of them that she can't speak to. That's real life. And so I think it's just been unbelievable. She's got that 1-year-old. PJ brings a lot of energy, and we are just absolutely thrilled. Her husband, Paul, as you know, took a strength job with our new strength staff. Otherwise, I probably couldn't have talked her in. So it's just, I believe the good Lord had a reason, and it's all worked out. But her energy, her passion, her enthusiasm, she's constantly talking. I mean, you're going to know she's in the room. She has a tremendous presence. She always has. And I really think that she can impact, along with Tiff. Their relationship together has been so fun to watch, whether it's been recruiting or position or practice meetings. The unselfishness those two have, along with Coach Kelly. Man, I'm telling you, I've got the most energetic staff that we've had. They're just unbelievable. So, I think the thing with Janice, too, is she's selfless. It's whatever you need me to do. And she just has a lot of belief. I don't think her plan was to coach. I mean, her plan was to spend time with her little one. But, for her belief in these kids in this program and for her to say, nope, okay, I'll do that. We're really thrilled right now. She brings an awful lot to the table. She's coaching our bigs. And I promise you, the energy she gives our bigs has just been tremendous. Thanks. We appreciate everybody. Thanks for your support. Roll Tide.
All right. Jasmine, again, happy to see you guys back at it. But for you, it seemed like you were pretty consistent from three throughout this season, a couple struggles here and there. But when you had big games, Can you kind of talk about the confidence factor, like when you see the ball go through the net, how it affects that next shot for you?
Okay, what I can say, every time like I make a shot or something, it's like that confidence level just shoots up. Like I hit the first one, boom. I'm coming hit another one, boom. I might come and hit another one. It just goes through. It just shoots up. It just makes it fun. Like it even pumps up my teammates. Like when I do hit a shot, they off the ground, cheering me on and stuff. So that confidence level, it shoots up real quick.
And I feel like, the trail three obviously is one of the greatest things about your game and how you stretch defenses. But defensively, at times, whether it's foul trouble or injuries, you were playing down low. But offensively, we didn't see that much from you a year ago. Is that a part of your game that we might see more of this season, or are we still going to be that stretch forward that's facing up?
Oh no, I've been working on being that versatile forward, being able to take a small guard in the post and be able to bring a big man out. I'm working on driving the ball as much too, just as much as I'm shooting the ball. So I'm really looking to bringing out that versatility in my game.
And I'll ask you the same question that I asked Jordan. You tried to lead by example now since you've gotten Alabama. How has that been, trying to be that vocal leader now as the senior in this last hurrah? Is that something we'll see different from you?
Yes, just like Coach said, even Jordan, like it's very important to be vocal. We have newer kids on the team, and being that we're the older kids on the team, we experienced and we know, we know the things that coach might want. So, we try to stay positive. We always try to lead by example. We always try to be the most hard working in practice, just by leading. So that's very important for us to be vocal. And that's what I've been working on too as well.
Thanks, Jasmine.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Dre. Hey, Jasmine.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. So my first question, if you had to describe this team and what makes you strong or what makes you dangerous just from your summer and the workouts that you've had so far, how would you describe this team to somebody that hasn't seen you?
Very competitive. I feel like everybody can score the ball. Everybody wants to win. So being that everybody wants to win, the practice is just competitive and hard.
And then for you in your game, Jordan talked a little bit about how you and her kind of got to create more of a bond in the off season. Do you kind of feel that bond with her a little bit stronger?
Oh yes. I feel like our bond's gotten a whole lot better, especially since we've been back after this quarantine. Even during quarantine, I feel like we was building the system then. Like at the end of our last year, I feel like it was building then. Like I feel like our bond, it's always been there. But since we're the seniors and stuff, we kind of like put it to a whole nother level.
And what are your goals for yourself this season?
I want to win. I want to be SEC first team. I want it all. Like, I want to go pro. I want it all. And I'm going to go for it. So.
Thanks, Jen.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I have one more. Jasmine, earlier it was mentioned about Janice coming and working now with a post. Can you talk about how she's impacted your individual game?
Being that intense coach that she is, she's very intense. Obviously, she knows what she's talking about. She's been through where we're trying to get. So, bringing that energy every day on the court, I feel like that's giving us like the leeway to actually listen. She's very understanding. She's very encouraging. So, yeah, that's all I got.
But how has she impacted your game?
Okay, we mainly work on post moves when I am with her. So we work on a lot of face-up moves, being able to express my quickness, not being a back-to-the-basket type, post player. I have to explore my quickness when I'm in the post. So we really been working on that face-up game.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Jordan, thanks for joining us.
Hey.
Coach talked about how you put a lot of pressure on yourself, but how this might be the most talent that you've had around you since you've been at Alabama. Do you feel that talent around you this season?
Yeah, I feel like it's my responsibility to bring the best out in everyone as the point guard. And so I think you have to find out what your teammates do well and put them in those positions so that they can perform. And so I think just this season, and like she talked about, we had quarantine, so it kind of helped me just learn my teammates more, just learn more about them. And so I think that's helped our success on the floor.
Is there any of your teammates that you're specifically more connected to this season because of quarantine that you weren't connected to maybe last season?
It kind of goes around, but I feel like me and Jazz have really like come together just because we know like what happened last season, like we can't let it happen again. Like we have to lead this team and we have to do everything that we can and do the extra. Like what we did last season, we have to do more this season. And so I think we've kind of been like on the same page and kind of just been like meshing better than ever before.
You mentioned what happened last season. Coach talked about kind of like a void after the season's over. When you say what happened last season can't happen again, what is it that you're talking about that you don't want to happen?
I think we let big plays, big moments, big seconds go. And I think when you want something as big as the NCAA tournament, you can't let those seconds go by. You can't let those plays go by. We lost several games by 1 or 2 possessions. And I just think you just can't let that happen, especially as 2 seniors. Like, it's our job to let everyone know and set that tone from day one so that you don't have to have that happen. I would agree with Coach Curry. Like, I think Hannah has really worked on her conditioning. I think she's also worked on what she can bring to the team in her role. I think she's really like she could always shoot the ball. She could always, but she's really found her way of like what to do, where to do it. Like you can tell she's been studying film. You can tell she's been kind of finding the open player. Like it's always been like she's been one step ahead instead of one step behind. I think this year, and I think that's really helped her production. Ari and Megan have been shooting the ball well. I mean, not like they were shooting it terrible before, but I just think like there's been an overall improvement. And I would say Destiny has brought an energy presence that we needed, like the gritty play, the extra plays, the dive on the floor. So I think everyone's just kind of finding what their role is on the team and doing it well.
And you talked about, what everybody else has done and how everyone else has improved. You've obviously been a dominant player. You've been the go-to player on the team. How have you elevated your game? What have you been working on? Kind of what's next for your level of play?
I've kind of been working on more of like my decision making. I think I personally, like Coach Curry said, I'm hard on myself. Like I think I turned the ball over too much last season. I think it kind of hurts the team. So just kind of learning to take care of the ball more and studying more film and like she said, getting in shape. Like this is probably the best shape I've been in my life. I just want to be able to, like I said, play those extra seconds, play those extra minutes, and not get tired to where I can't think anymore. So I think that's been like very important.
Thanks, Jordan.
You're welcome.
Jordan, first of all, I feel like you're probably 30 years old because you've been there forever.
Yes.
We talked about the close losses a year ago. However, there was a huge streak for you guys down the stretch. The win over A&M, the last second win at Mississippi State. So forget the negative part of last year and how it's affected you and Jasmine as leaders. What did the positives down the stretch? How has that affected you guys as leaders?
I think we're able to get our team to really like buy into what it is. Like we can really win these games. Like the number next to the teams don't matter. The win-loss record doesn't matter. I mean, a lot of people throw away the fact that we started out the SEC season like 0-4 and we didn't have any wins. Like we could have just laid down and let it all go. But I think having that push and having that stretch of those big wins, like we had the confidence in the team and like I feel like they were at another level because they believed that we could do it as a team together. Mm-hmm.
What has it meant to you now, going through the injury 2 years ago, now going through COVID, which potentially cut you guys away from finally getting that NCAA bid? What has it meant for your mental health, your peace of mind to get back on the court with your peers?
It's been very challenging, but I think like Coach Curry said, like it's way bigger than basketball. Like basketball could be gone tomorrow. Like, and I think that was really like shown for everybody. That you can't take a day off. Like it may be your last day and you never know. So just taking that mindset and saying like I'm doing all I can do today. I'm focusing only on basketball because there's so many distractions going on right now that you could get lost so quickly. And I just think it's so important to be focused on what you're doing at the moment because in this day and age, like the next moment is not promised, the next day is not promised. So I feel like giving your all and really caring about those people around you is really what's kind of helped me like be happy to be back on the court and back doing what I love.
Less so from the vocal perspective. Now that this year, last year, potentially, where are you with that vocal leadership?
I've really been working on it. I've tried to be more vocal in practice, more positive, not get frustrated. I think that's something that kind of held the team back too, is like when I get frustrated, I tend to like stop talking or not talk to my teammates and try to just do it all by example. But I feel like at the end of the day, to get where we want to get, like I have to be that vocal leader and I have to step outside my comfort zone and take that risk. And so I think that's just something that I've been really focused on this offseason and going into the season.